Hi, everyone. This is Krista Moore, and welcome to the Krista Moore Show. This show is brought to you as a way to inspire you as you hear others' stories of purpose and passion and meaning, so that you can also begin to be thinking about what can you do to soar in your life, in your relationships, and in your business. So I'm really excited about my guest today, and I want to introduce to you to Kezia Davis. And Keysia and I met about a year ago. Actually, Keysia, I think I was interviewing your mother about a year ago at this time, but I'd love for you all to meet Kezia Davis. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you. So, we actually had the pleasure of spending Sunday together this past Sunday. And I was really inspired by what you're doing and your story that I just wanted to get you on the show. I wanted to introduce you to a lot of people that can learn more about kind of what you're up to. So, first off, let me go ahead and just ask you to give a little bit of a brief introduction of yourself. That would be great.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate you having me. Um, so I would say that you already said my name's Kezia Davis, and I'm from India. I'm from a city called Pune that is just a little bit outside of Mumbai, and it's also a very big city, about 4 to 5 million people. But I was I've studied, I went to college, and then I wanted to do events, and I started working in that direction. I think God had other plans. I met my husband. He was on a mission trip, and I met Conley Davis, and it just so happened that God had it planned out for us, and I moved to the U.S.
Yeah,
And
I the one part about that story is I love the whole Conley was there on a mission trip and then he met you, and I understand it was kind of love at first sight. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
it definitely was love at first sight, and I cannot stop smiling even today as when I think about it, because Conley was there on a mission trip, and he was doing China, Nepal, and India. And when he came to India, my church was hosting him,
Hmm.
and I think the adult youth got together, and just when he entered, I think our eyes met, and we instantly knew that we were in love, and it did worked out. We
Yeah.
got engaged, and we ended up getting married. So,
Yeah, so you had a couple of big weddings too. I saw some
um,
video of a gorgeous, beautiful wedding, and there was, I don't, how many people were there? It just seemed like half the country.
it definitely Indian weddings are big weddings. I think we had about 600 people at one reception, and then the other reception was in a whole nother state with just family. And when I say just family, that was about 100 to 150 people.
Hmm.
Um, and then we came to the US and had another wedding and had two other receptions. So we had about two weddings and four receptions in total.
Yeah, that's exciting. And that certainly is a good way to celebrate. One of the things about your story that I was really impressed by is the cultural differences that you encountered
Mhm.
by moving here, and then just being able to kind of overcome that. And I know it wasn't easy, and I think that there's still a lot of overcoming, but you came to a new country, you have a new family, new husband. It's like starting over a new life, and that had to be difficult at times. And I just kind of wanted to hear a little bit about that transition.
Yes, I'm not going to deny it. It is really, really difficult. I'm the only child. I have been brought up all these years with my family, learning to live confidently in my country, in my surrounding, in my society. And suddenly all this was going to move. And I will say I underestimated it a little bit because
Hmm.
I traveled and I was like, okay, I've traveled a little bit and I think I can do this. But it's a very different from traveling. You're moving, you're getting situated in a whole different country with different people, different cultures, and it's like learning to walk again. I mean, you have to do everything in a different way. And if I have to be honest, it kind of did affect my confidence in a big, big way because I was now dependent on someone else. I was dependent on my husband for a lot of things. Even to go from one place to another, driving in this country is different. We in US you drive to the right, and in India you drive on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So it was completely different, and it did take a big blow on my confidence and the way I was with people. And I will say though that my husband and his family have done a great job, because they have nurtured, they have taken care, they've built me back up, and I kind of owe it all to them.
Yeah, that's
But it
great.
is a process, yes.
And I'm sure it is a process. And one of the things that I heard you say was that you kind of lost your confidence in that. And
Mm-hmm.
at some point, I hear when you tell your story that there you kind of got reignited. There
Mm-hmm.
was something that you're starting to do, and you're launching a new business, and you were in business in India. So you were
Yes.
very independent at a young age, and now you're able to kind of bring that back out. And I'd like you to tell us about your new business.
Yeah, so I recently went back to India this in 2020, in the month of January this year, just before all the craziness hit. So
Mm-hmm.
I went back home, and I had my mom's friend introduced me to some jewelry, which at first glance was beautiful. I've always loved jewelry and fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've always loved it. So I looked at all the stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And then she said, hold on, just let me tell you where this came from. And so I go on to find out that there are these women that work. So raw materials are provided to them, and
Mm-hmm.
they come up with their own designs. They design it and they make the jewelry. And these women are it's actually a really an unfortunate state, a sad state, because their husbands are either alcoholics or have not been supporting them, and they have children, one, two, three, four, five children even, and they just have to try and find a way to live. They used to be earning, the whole family would earn just about $200 a year before this opportunity showed up. And then they started making this jewelry. Yet again, there was still a need for a buyer that would buy and then give them the hope that, their stuff is still going to get sold. And
Mm-hmm.
that just right there inspired me a lot, because I was like, this is what I can do, because I knew I wanted to start something. I knew I wanted to work again in the US. Um, and this opportunity just came, and it just inspired me to start over. And it also made me think, if, they can start their life knowing whatever they started knowing what they knew how to do. I was like, maybe
That's
I
right.
can do that too, because I went to college
Yeah.
for
And
business.
and and when I think about the how many women this is impacting, because you're buying the jewelry from them and you're selling it, and you're going to be selling it online, and you have jewelry parties, but some of the proceeds end up going back to them as well. So
Yes.
they're getting income because you're
Hmm.
purchasing the jewelry up front, and they know that they have someone to continue to sell it to, and then
Hmm.
you're giving some of the proceeds back to them. And I just think that that's it's just a wonderful thing.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm hoping for this to work well. But yes, I have already bought the jewelry from them, so their income is not dependent on the sales right now. But
Hmm.
I have already bought it from them. But whatever profits are made will go back. A part of them will go back to them as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
really interesting too, because you've been able to at some point get that confidence back to be able to build a business here in the US, but
Mhm.
you're supporting it with something that's very personal to you, and you're supporting that, and it's like it's purposeful, there's meaning in it, and you're giving it back to women who perhaps are definitely less fortunate.
Yes, definitely. We're also working, so I've seen that the proceeds that I hope to make with all the jewelry is enough not only to give back to these people, but to
Mhm.
help other children and other women in other places in India as well as US.
Yeah.
So yes, it'll definitely make enough to be given to other people, and more people can benefit out of one business that is, that I plan to start.
Yeah. And I understand you're looking at women's shelters and also
Mm-hmm.
children's shelters and orphanages throughout your area and throughout North Carolina to start. And so what do you think, what do you think it is that is driving this mission that you have? Where's it come from?
It's when I think about it, I mean, I don't know. I would probably say it's my upbringing. Um, I think growing up in India with so many different cultures and just people coming from extremely different financial backgrounds, when you grew up together, and we, I think we studied and we kind of learned that a lot of people made something come to pass. For example, we went to college, but other than the teachers and the students, there were also gardeners that helped in the college, and there were maids that helped in college, and there were janitors that helped in college. And I will definitely give this to my mother because she has made sure that everybody is treated equally. Same
Mhm.
respect is given to everyone. So I think I would say though I used to be friends with all these people. Like even after I passed out with college, I would go back and the students change every year, but these people are the same.
Mhm.
And I would go back to college and I would see these people and they would recognize me, and it's really nice, and I think they're really happy to just see that they're seen and somebody sees them, and actually it's a lot of fun to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Stories that they have, no
Mhm.
student is going to have. So I think I've always liked knowing different people from different parts of life, doing different things, and I've always had a passion with just helping people. I think I've
Yeah.
always,
And
and my
this
mom's always been like that.
And so a lot of it, we teach often kind of going back to when you were younger, like in fourth and fifth grade, and how you were brought up and what you loved, and at that time in your life is kind of when purpose and passion can meet. But there's some impact here on that for you. You know, you said something to me the other day, and I wrote it down because it really struck me. Make sure that someone sees them. And the more that I thought about that, it was like that's what you're doing today. You're giving them hope. You're giving these women hope in India. You're giving women and children hope here in the U.S. by being able to give back to them some of the proceeds from your business.
Yes, I'm hoping to do that, and I really
Hmm.
hope that is what happens. But really, I think it's a win-win for everyone because everyone that buys this jewelry has something beautiful to take back home that is so different, made in a whole different side of the world. And I get to meet a lot of people.
Hmm.
And again, these women and children are benefited from it too. So
Yeah.
there's nobody is losing,
Well,
I
there's
would
nothing
say.
there's nothing better than kind of a purpose-driven company or a purpose-driven business. And I'm wearing some of this gorgeous jewelry. I even have your earrings on. They're different, they're unique, and knowing that they were made by hand in India by some underprivileged women, that the proceeds is going to help them just, I don't know. I went a little crazy on Sunday buying the jewelry only because I thought it was beautiful. And it was also a way for me to support you and your new business. So
Right.
Collections by Kezia, that's the company name. And
Mhm.
what is your vision for growing that?
Um, so yes, I came up with that name with the help of a lot of people, and I honestly I'm still trying to learn the whole process of how it's going to work out. But I do plan on doing trunk shows to begin with, and then go online. I will say though that the support has been amazing. Like
Mhm.
people have come out from every direction, every place, and supported me in this because I think I mentioned to you that there's no point in having an idea when you're not going to have anyone to support it and back you up. And that is something that, I'm learning through. I will say though, I'm not an expert at this. I'm still learning, figuring out what works best,
Mm-hmm.
what sells best, what areas I can target. But I hope that I come to a stage where I can help way more than what, is still just getting helped right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I also hope that, I mean, that I can make a change that is significant enough to encourage someone else to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, the one thing that I think you were telling me the story the first time that you brought the jewelry back, and you had a couple of
Mhm.
suitcases full, and so tell us how you first realized, like, oh my goodness, this is as beautiful and as I thought it was, and people do want this.
Yes, I came back with just about two suitcases full of jewelry, and I to came back to the US, and I was of course taking out all my gifts for all my family. And my mother-in-law was home that day. Lisa was home, and she was like, "Kezia, this is beautiful. I have a luncheon coming up. Do you want to come show your stuff?" I was like, "Okay, but I haven't really unpacked it and stuff." She's like, "Just get the suitcases." I said, "Okay." So I quickly priced it, and her luncheon was coming up like in 4 days, I think. And I managed to take it there, and it sold out. Like people, I already had standing orders. Like people would place an order and be like, "Okay, this is sold out. I had just one or two pieces of each, of a necklace or two pieces of earrings," because I didn't know how I was going to do. And I already had people placing orders for the next time the jewelry would come. So I was like, wow. And then some of the comments that I got were, "This is really different and we haven't seen something like this before. And oh my gosh, it's, at a reasonable price point for something so pretty."
Mhm.
So I was like, yes, this is definitely what I want to do.
That's great.
And I got it, and I was not proved wrong the second time. You were there for it. I just had like a
Mhm.
little party at Conley's aunt's place, at Anita's place, and that was a success too.
Yeah, it was great. And one thing that I noticed too, that not only is the jewelry absolutely gorgeous and it's well made and it's different, but I think that just the whole concept and the idea behind you kind of doing this for purpose and meaning, I think is really attractive. I think people want to be able to reach out and to help you. So I think you're going to have a wonderful future. I was saying, there's Kendra Scott, maybe we know, well, are you wearing a Kezia? I mean, the sky's the limit. So I just want to wish you all the luck in the world. Now, the website that you're going to be selling online, any idea when we can look forward to that?
Well, I'm hoping I can do it before November. That's what I'm aiming at. That probably in October I would have it launched.
Yeah.
Um, if not, I would definitely have a Facebook page launched where the jewelry will still be able. I mean, you'll still be able to buy it on Facebook. But I am definitely working for all this to work out before November, so I can get it going before Christmas, because I know people love Christmas. I love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm hoping that it should be
Is
available.
your necklace one of the ones that you
Yes, and I will
ladies
give
make?
you, yes, it is one of that what the ladies made, and I will give you a closer look. It's on jute threads, like it's
Oh, I
jute
see that.
threads, and it's just a bunch of pearls, and they have little knots to secure their place, and they just, yeah, it's made by them,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, I'm going to give you a close up of mine now because I love it. It's it has it's like beads. It's all hand beaded, and I just find like it's so intricate. Whoops, let me get it in the camera. Yeah, it's
Yep.
beautiful, and I love all the colors.
Yeah,
Thank
they
you.
come in a lot of different colors, and I will say a lot of the pieces are unique because most of them cannot be duplicated. They're made by hand, made by natural stones, natural raw materials. So it's most likely that every piece is different, either in color or in the way it's made, or the stitch is different. But yeah,
Hmm.
so you're most likely to have a unique piece.
Yeah, and it's actually every piece is unique as the person that is creating it, and I love that about that. Well, I just want to thank you again for joining me. I want the audience to know that this is not the last time that we're going to see or hear from Kezia. Check out Collections by Kezia coming soon. If anybody is interested in hosting a trunk party or having a party to get this jewelry out and more into the public, go ahead and connect with Kezia on Facebook. That's probably the best way to reach you now, wouldn't it be?
Yes, yes, ma'am. It
Great.
is.
So let me share that other slide. And I don't know if your Facebook page is on there, but this will give them a good view of your name. And then they can find you in Facebook. And that gorgeous picture, was that from your wedding?
Yes, it was from one of my ceremonies where they put henna on your hands and everybody just dances. It was a pool party.
That sounds wonderful. Well, great. Well, thanks so much for joining us, everyone. And let's all band together and wish Kezia the best of luck as she continues to live with her purpose and her passion. So goodbye to everyone, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.